Good afternoon. Welcome to the Tulsa Boys Home Gift of Hope fundraising luncheon. I'm Tim Harris, and I'm General Legal Counsel to the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office, former Tulsa County District Attorney, and honored to be a board member of the Tulsa Boys Home. I want to start off with a big thanks to our sponsors, the George Kaiser Family Foundation and the Paul Sizemore Charitable Foundation. Thank you for your generous support. Without you, none of this would be possible. I want to thank our board members who are here today. We appreciate all that you do for the Tulsa Boys Home throughout the year. I also want to thank our table captains. Oh, how important they are. Without your efforts, we also wouldn't be here today. I want to give a special thank you for all who have taken a Hope Tour. The Hope Tour shows people exactly what's happening at the Tulsa Boys Home. Our mission, our miracles, and our challenges. If you haven't been on a Hope Tour, I encourage you to talk to your table captain and find a date that you can come. It's 1 hour out of your life to actually hands-on see what the Tulsa Boys Home is all about, and it's something that you will never forget. Our theme this year is Believe. Here at the Tulsa Boys Home, we understand that many of our boys come to us having lost all hope, based on the tragic experiences in their lives that have stolen their hope from their very souls. Part of our mission at the Tulsa Boys Home is to plant seeds of hope and belief for a future life that they never thought was possible. To believe the future has great possibilities regardless of their past. I was asked to join the Tulsa Boys Home when I was Tulsa County District Attorney. I jumped at the opportunity, and let me tell you why. For 28 years, I prosecuted criminals. The majority of them were angry, broken, vindictive, and hopeless. Many of them suffered at the hands of others, just like our boys at the Tulsa Boys Home. However, at the Tulsa Boys Home, we offer healing and hope to our boys. We rescue those who were physically and sexually abused, abandoned, neglected, broken, and hurting, and those suffering from addictions. As you can imagine, this healing doesn't happen overnight with a quick fix, and we at the Tulsa Boys Home are in it for the long haul. We strive to give them a shot at life by helping them heal their tragic wounds and envisioning their true potential. Lives healed, hope restored, and a belief and a vision for a future birthed in the hearts and the minds and the souls of our boys, breaking the generational cycle of abuse that often afflicted grandfathers, fathers, and sons. This is why I'm passionate about the Tulsa Boys Home and our mission to rescue, rebuild, and reintegrate our boys back into our communities with a genuine hope and belief for their future. Simply stated, we need your help to accomplish this mission. Today, we will highlight for your consideration our mission and work at the Tulsa Boys Home. I'm honored to introduce two of our boys to you this afternoon. Anthony, who will share a poem with us, and Isaiah, who will give our prayer and invocation. Boys.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anthony. No matter how hard life gets, we must never lose our focus. We must continue to have a positive outlook in life and look forward to a better day. Believe that everything will fall into place at the right time, at the right moment. Know that things happen for a reason and there's never a losing battle, because we come out of adversities as better, wiser, and stronger individuals.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Isaiah. Please join me in prayer. We welcome this community that gathered together today to do the unexpected. Some that are distant in relation, but all connected in love to fulfill dreams and aspirations. During this season of hope, we are here to rejoice in our ability to rebuild youth that have a broken foundation. Help us to understand the value of giving ourselves to rescue a voice that has not been heard, a weak hand that needs strength to stand. At this hour, show us the honor of accepting these gifts willingly from family and friends. Today, let us share the spirit of giving and receiving. By thinking out of the box and using our creative instincts to reintegrate those that have been unwanted or outcast, this gives us permission to accept these gifts of hope. With humble appreciation, with open hearts, we will walk forward through this season of miracles with the anticipation of joy and hope. We all give thanks. Amen.
Thank you, Isaiah, for that beautiful prayer to kind of get us started here this afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being with us today for our Gift of Hope virtual luncheon. A virtual luncheon? What the heck? Anyway, here we are. I'm Greg Conway, and I have had the honor, privilege, and responsibility of leading the mission of the Tulsa Boys Home for the last 24 and a half years. It has been said that a goal of good parenting is to give a child roots and wings. Roots in secure relationships and a sense of home and belonging. Wings to soar freely with confidence to embrace the future. The boys who cross the threshold of Tulsa Boys Home, already wounded by life's circumstances, seek roots and a sense of home. Something most of them have never really had. And they seek healing, and they seek hope. The wings to fly to new horizons. If I have learned anything during my 69 years on the planet Earth, it is the power of hope and believing. The power of one person, a Washington, a Mandela, a King, a Kennedy, a Mother Teresa. One person can change the world by giving people hope. Faith, hope, love. It really does boil down to that. At Tulsa Boys Home, we have 64 boys that live with us on any given day. They are truly some of the most broken-hearted, broken-spirited, and deeply wounded young people on our planet. With average comings and goings of turnover, we care for about 125 or so boys during the course of a given year. Now, here's where things really become interesting and powerful. If we positively affect and change the lives of only 10 of these boys every year, and that number is way more than 10, of course, but for argument's sake, let's just say 10, and those 10 boys positively impact the lives of only 10 other people in their lifetime, then in 2 generations or in the next 50 years, Tulsa Boys Home will have positively changed the lives of millions of boys and girls, including the children of the children, generation after generation, who came, were healed, and developed a newfound sense of hope at Tulsa Boys Home. Established in 1918, Tulsa Boys Home has roots more than a century deep now. Tulsa Boys Home is a story about how obstacles to healing are eliminated, a story about how barriers to hope are overcome, a story filled with the chapters of many individual stories of the lives of the boys we have served and how generational cycles of poverty, abuse, neglect, and addiction have been broken. Many of them are truly compelling stories, stories of how the lessons these boys learned at TBH have given them the roots and wings needed to transform their lives and fly to new horizons, lessons of hope restored. Tulsa Boys Home continues into the next century, determined to build on our legacy of exceptional care for the boys in need. Determined to offer new opportunities for healing and for hope. Determined and dedicated more than ever to changing lives for a lifetime, one boy at a time. And as far as the future of the Tulsa Boys Home is concerned, those of us in positions of leadership at this point in our evolution, I believe have a mandate to ensure the financial stability and viability of the Tulsa Boys Home mission for the long term, perhaps for another 103 years. And to that end, never underestimate the power and the ability of a small group of people with passion and vision to change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that really ever has. Please join me today and help us instill a sense of hope in these young boys' lives and change lives for a lifetime. One boy at a time, let's change the world and let it begin with us. Thank you and God bless you for joining us today for our virtual luncheon. Now let's take a look at the impact of Tulsa Boys Home Mission on a few of our boys that were residents some years ago.
My name is Xander and I am 13 years old. I live in the Tulsa Boys Home. I had a mentally and verbally abusive stepmother who had caused me to do angry stuff to my step siblings and caused me to run away. DHS gets called on them. I get taken away. Before I went to the boys' home, I was back and forth from the shelter place. It was really unfair. They wouldn't really give you much of a chance to prove yourself. My discharge date came, and I saw the Tulsa Boys Home. I was really excited because I looked at it, and this place had a lot of stuff, and it was a really nice looking place. My mentor's name is Mr. Brett O'Neill. He is an owner of a construction company called Sparks Construction. He is a really, really nice person. He does a lot of stuff with me and he takes me places. He usually picks me up around dinner time. That way we can eat a meal. He also teaches me things to do in life that will keep you from doing other things in life that you don't want to do. I didn't think about my future back then. I'd think about killing people, and I would also sometimes think about killing myself, and it was a dark time. And I felt like the only friend I would have was God, and this place healed that. Believe me, I was different back then. And it gives you hope, because as you heal, you get hope from it. I have hope for my future and for my family.
My stepdad was very abusive. He'd slam me against the walls. So I was always in fear after being assaulted by him. And there was a time when I had a gun loaded that I'd stolen with one bullet for him underneath the pillowcase. That's how much fear that I had growing up in the home. Doing the right things for the right reasons was unnatural for me. I always lived a life of secrecy, burglaries, or assault, or stealing from people, or drugs. That's what I did, and I'm just so grateful that that's not the life I have to live anymore. The boys' home helped me in a lot of different ways to grow up in general. I think it was around probably my 4th month in the boys' home that my probation officer gave me an assignment, and she asked me to write a short-term and long-term goals list. And I didn't think anything of it. I was just thinking, this is dumb. I gotta do this because the PO wants me to. But on the 5-year goals, one of those was to own my own car, own my own house, own my own business. And I thought nothing of it. But 7 years later, I own my own home. I have 3 cars, and I'm a manager at my own business. I started to come back out to the boys' home eventually and talk to the kids one-on-one. I would find myself throughout the day trying to find any way that I could touch one of the kids' hearts, and just so they know that they're not alone. Because for years I felt that way. Felt like no one cared. No one will know how I felt. The Tulsa Boys Home taught me how to be human again, to live a life worthy of living.
Life was a whole lot different than it was now. Before the boys' home, I got in a lot of trouble. I just transitioning from home to home, and I knew no way to cope with that. I just went day by day with a lot of anger built up. I met a lot of people that made me start talking about what was going on every day, which I couldn't stand when I first got there. Why stuff was happening, why I was acting the way I was, and when it all came out, I felt a whole lot better. I wasn't as angry all the time. I found family there that I could talk to that I really didn't have before. 5 years ago, I had just came out of prison, wondering what am I gonna do next? I have a kid on the way. I don't know how I'm gonna make it. I gave Mr. Conway a call, and first thing he said is, "Will, don't worry. I'm gonna make sure that we take care of you and get you back on the right road." He helped me get into school. He helped me get back and forth to school, and he inspired me every day. So I want to thank Mr. Conway from the bottom of my heart for just taking the time to get me back to where he knew I could be. I want to help someone else like they helped me, because honestly, as a kid, I didn't see myself where I am right now. And I can actually almost cry just thinking about it. Just because this 16, 17 years old, this wasn't me. This wasn't me at all.
My name is Kyler Surratt. It's an honor to be here to talk about the boys' home, thanks to Mr. Conway. While I was at the boys' home, I learned that the Tulsa Boys' Home is not a lockdown facility. It's mainly about healing broken hearts, broken spirits, and broken minds. And changing lives for a lifetime, that's really what it's all about. While I was at the boys' home, I was scared and questioning why I was there. When my siblings were in foster care and I was in a group home, I was asking why I was here instead of over there. I remember when my favorite memory whenever I first went up there was seeing Mr. Conway. He always looked sharp. The boys' home made a big impact on my life. It helped me learn to be respectful and take care of myself. The best memory I had was going and asking Mr. Conway for a pig, and he asked me, what am I going to do with a pig? I told him I was going to keep it as a pet, and he told me we couldn't do that. He said, how about we get a fish instead? I said, okay. We shook hands, and that was the deal. I got a fish, but I didn't just get any fish. I went through about 40 fish. The most thing that I will cherish forever is Mr. Conway. Mr. Murphy never gave up on me, and they always check on me every day, still to this day. I have been out, and I still am going to continue to go out and speak to the boys at the boys' home to encourage them and be a leader to them. I really enjoyed going and speaking to the boys at the boys' home. I really enjoyed it. I think people should go and support the Tulsa Boys' Home. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyler. Thank you for sharing your story with us today. I think it's completely unfair that I have to go after you because I'm pretty sure you brought people's houses down. You remind us, Kyler, of the power of the work at Tulsa Boys' Home. I met Kyler the day that he arrived at Tulsa Boys' Home. He was 11 years old, and he was a little spark plug, full of energy, full of anger. He still had sunshine in his heart, though. You could see it when you spoke to him. But he had been through a lot. He had suffered a lot of neglect, and he'd been taken from his home because he was not able to be taken good care of there. And I am proud of the role that the Tulsa Boys Home had in his life. Hello, my name is Ellen Martucci. I'm a volunteer tutor at Tulsa Boys Home, and I'm fortunate to be on the board of directors at Tulsa Boys Home also. I am inspired by the resilience and the eagerness that I see in these boys, our boys, to learn and to thrive. I call them our boys because while they're at the boys' home, they really are our children. We are the ones who are parenting them and helping them and nurturing them and loving them. So they are very much our boys during their stay with us. Our boys are the future of this state. They are the men to come, and it is crucially important for us to do everything we can to make sure that they are healthy and prosperous, successful young men. And that's what we are here today for, to really make whatever effort we can to bring them into adulthood in a very fantastic and healthy way. Today, my job, and you knew it was coming, my job is to ask you for your financial support of our boys and the effort that we extend to them to help them become really fruitful people. We're not asking for money for a new building or a piece of equipment. What we're asking for is financial support that will help us take care of our boys day to day. It's the type of funding, frankly, that is the hardest to come by. Today, we invite you to join our Gift of Hope Society or to extend your previous generous donations to the Gift of Hope. It is my great honor to announce today very generous leadership gifts that have been made to us. Thank you very much to the George Kaiser Family Foundation, which has given $25,000. Thank you also to the Paul Sizemore Charitable Foundation for their generous $10,000 donation. Finally, we also want to thank the Genevieve King Rogers Charitable Trust for its continued generous gift of $50,000 a year. This body of leadership gifts is so important to us, and I hope that they inspire you to give generously today. For those of you who are early and loyal members of the Gift of Hope Society, we've made a special place on the back of the pledge cards for you to extend or increase your pledge. By now, you should all have received your pledge card, but if you have not received it, you can download it below. I'll quickly walk you through the pledge process. The names of the pledge levels are meant to give you a sense of what your contributions can do for our boys. Starting at the top of the card, the first pledge level is the Building Hope level. Our boys usually arrive at Tulsa Boys Home with nothing except the clothes on their back and perhaps a garbage bag full of a few belongings. When they arrive at Tulsa Boys Home, we give them brand new school clothes, school shoes, winter coats, dress-up clothes for special events, weekend clothes, athletic clothes, and shoes. At this first giving level of Building Hope, which is a pledge of $1,000 a year for 5 years, this level provides a set of clothing for 2 boys every year. Very important. We take care of a special class of boys at Tulsa Boys Home. Each of our boys has suffered some kind of extreme loss, trauma, abuse, or neglect. We do everything we can to heal these wounds. Each boy, in order to help heal these wounds, receives counseling from a devoted master's level therapist, one-on-one counseling, also group therapy, family therapy for those boys who are fortunate to have a family intact, and equine therapy with the horses at Tulsa Boys Home. Also crisis intervention and diagnostic treatment planning. A lot goes into taking care of our boys. It's a full wraparound approach to healing that we do. So the next level, the next giving level, is creating hope. It's a pledge of $10,000 a year for 5 years. Each gift at this level enables us to provide our master's level therapists so that each boy can get the emotional and psychological therapy that he so desperately needs. The last level of giving is the Changing Lives level. It's a pledge of $25,000 a year for 5 years. A gift at this very generous level helps fund our on-campus school for 1 year. I believe our boys cannot be successful without a strong educational foundation. It's a critically important piece of what we do at Tulsa Boys Home. Your gift at this level will cover a substantial portion of expenses, from teacher and staff salaries to educational software, textbooks, and supplies. This gift also supports our one-on-one tutoring program at the school, which provides another loving community contact for the boys. Thank you so much for your generous gifts. If you are able to join us at one of these giving levels for 5 years, please know that if your gift is at least $1,000 or more for 5 years, you become a member of our Gift of Hope Society and receive some special privileges at Tulsa Boys Home. In the next box on your pledge card, the fourth box, you will note the option to give any amount for any number of years. Regardless of the size of your gift, whatever you are able to give will make a meaningful difference for the boys we serve. Finally, you may have more ideas for us or another way that you would like to offer support to the boys at Tulsa Boys Home. Just check the box that says, "Please contact me," and someone from our office will be happy to give you a call. Finally, you may have more ideas for us or another way that you'd like to contribute to our boys, and we're happy to hear your comments. Just check the next box that says, "Please contact me," and someone from our office will get in touch with you. The person who invited you to today's event will reach out to you and collect your pledge card. Before we wrap up the program today, I just want to say on behalf of all of us at Tulsa Boys Home, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to learn about the wonderful work that's being done at Tulsa Boys Home. Thank you for your valuable contributions of time and money. We sincerely appreciate all of you. And now I will turn the program back to Tim Harris to wrap up.
I want to personally thank you for coming to our Gift of Hope Luncheon. You now know the mission and the work of the Tulsa Boys Home. We need your help to make it happen. I want to thank you, and let's get out there and make it happen. God bless you, and thank you for coming.